So after the bad taste that The Rise of Skywalker left in my mouth, I decided to give Star Wars a break for a while, so I never really watched The Mandalorian or The Bad Batch or any of the other Star Wars spin-offs that they came out with. I just never really decided to go watch those. But then they decided to announce that Ewan McGregor was returning as Obi Wan Kenobi, and after that, they had sold me on any other thing they needed to. I didn't need to be convinced of any more. So ladies and gentlemen, this is Obi Wan Kenobi. Hello there, I am your guy in the chair, and this is my review of Obi Wan Kenobi. It's also my best Ewan McGregor impression, so let me know how I did in the comments. So Obi-Wan picks up 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith, where essentially after the execution of Order 66, if you are a Jedi living in this time, you are essentially supposed to be hunted or you're just supposed to be dead. So we find Obi-Wan, our main character here, he's in hiding, he is still tormented by the events that happened with him and his former apprentice Anakin, and the fact that he still thinks he's dead, but I'm going to get to that in a second. He still thinks Anakin's dead, and essentially he's just still being haunted by everything that happened back then. He's basically lost all hope in being a Jedi, the Jedi way, everything. He just thinks that people should live a normal life. He thinks that, they should just stay in hiding, and whatever you need to do to survive, do that, because this war is basically over. But then something happens. Princess Leia gets kidnapped, and in an attempt to bring Obi-Wan out of hiding, he has to go rescue her. And once those events happen, he not only finds out that his former apprentice is still alive and one of the greatest villains of all times, but he has to rescue the princess and essentially get his way back to being Obi-Wan Kenobi. So like my other series reviews, look, I'm just going to be going over things that I liked about the show, didn't like, just going over basic plot points that, essentially I just want to talk about. Granted, this will be a spoiler-filled review, so you have been warned right now. This is a spoiler-filled review. If you haven't seen Obi-Wan Kenobi, you can turn this off right now, come back, watch a little later, or if you don't care about spoilers, welcome in anyway, but we're going to be talking about Obi-Wan right now. So to start with what I loved about this show, I'm going to talk about Ewan McGregor's return as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Look, from the very opening frame of this show, or the opening shot, you can tell how much he's missed playing Obi-Wan Kenobi. You can tell how much he loves playing this character, and honestly, I was very surprised that he could capture so much emotion. You would have thought he played this character like 2 years ago with all the emotional depth that he brought to this character, because we find Obi-Wan in the opening or in the beginning of this series very haunted. Like, he is just distraught by everything that happened. And this is 10 years after it happened, and he's still just emotionally destroyed. Like, it's just like he just doesn't want to come back to the planet Earth anymore, or whatever planet they're on, because there's a lot of planets in Star Wars. But I just was really captivated by his performance in this series. I thought that he brought his all to this character. Again, it's just great to see Obi-Wan Kenobi back on screen. I gotta say, like, when I was a kid, Obi-Wan Kenobi was like the biggest name in Star Wars for me. Like, I loved everything about that character. I always thought Ewan McGregor just really brought a certain swagger, a certain umph to that character, and nobody could play Obi-Wan better than him. And he's proven that once again. Like, I feel like he's given in this series itself, he's given such a better performance than he did in the original trilogy. And that's not to knock his performance in the original trilogy, although there are a lot, not the original trilogy, but the prequel series. There is a lot to knock on those prequel movies, but Ewan McGregor absolutely killed it, did everything he could to bring this character back to life, and he really made it feel like Star Wars again. And I can't thank them enough for doing that, because like I said, The Rise of Skywalker just left such a bad taste in my mouth that I really just didn't want to watch any more Star Wars. I was really good off whatever else they were making, and I just really appreciate Ewan for coming back and really bringing the old lore of Star Wars back to us. Like, everything just felt right again, watching him being this character, watching him do everything that Obi-Wan does. And I'm going to get to somebody who I really thought redeemed himself in this series. Hayden Christensen getting his chance to return as Darth Vader, I really feel like was not only a redemption story for like Hayden Christensen himself, but it's just like a redemption story for our Star Wars fans, because me personally, I wasn't a fan of Hayden Christensen's performance as Anakin Skywalker in the prequel series. I honestly thought he was just an overzealous crybaby. I thought that, to reflect somebody as one of the greatest movie villains of all time, for you to give that kind of performance, and with the screaming and the one where Obi-Wan had the higher ground, and I just felt like that was some of the worst acting I've ever seen in my life from Hayden Christensen. And I'm honestly just glad he really got to actually come back and redeem himself from that. Like, granted, there are people who actually enjoy that performance. I'm not one of them, so I actually really appreciated what he did in this series more, because Darth Vader is one of the greatest villains of all time. Plus, I will say this. To Hayden Christensen's critiques that he gets for playing Anakin Skywalker, he only got like 4 seconds in the suit, so, and all he said was... So he really didn't get a chance to really portray that villain that, you know, we all know and love. But in this one, he really got the screen time he deserved. He got his mojo back, essentially. Vader got his mojo back. Well, the Vader that Hayden Christensen played, the one that James Earl Jones played, he always had it. There was never a doubt in our minds. But Hayden Christensen coming back to this role, I really felt like just brought a whole nother depth to the show, and it really made it feel like, you know, we're getting our original characters back, and we're really getting the story essentially that we never got. Like, it's like a segue, because, you know, the fact that Obi Wan didn't even know that Anakin was alive, that never registered with my mind until it hit Obi Wan. Like, I never knew that Obi Wan just didn't realize it. Like, I didn't realize he thought he was dead the whole time. And I do apologize if all my other Star Wars fans are going crazy right now saying, "What? You never knew that?" And no, I didn't. I apologize. But I just felt like that was a very important, revealing moment to know that Anakin is still alive. And the fact that we even get to see the flashback between, I think it was episode 5, the flashback we get to see between Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting, and it's like a training session. I thought that was absolutely incredible, because you really get to capture like all the old feelings that you got from those prequels. And I'll say this series actually captures everything that was good about the prequels. It wipes everything out that was bad. It gives us great character development, great story, great action. It just gives us a Star Wars story that we can really appreciate. And I just can't think, whoever the director was, I think it was Deborah Chow. I really hope I got that name right. But she did a phenomenal job from episode 1 to 6. And I really hope they give us more of this series, because I really got to see more of Obi-Wan and Vader. Well, not even Obi-Wan and Vader. I just want to see more of Obi-Wan in general. That's one of my favorite characters of all time. And I just thought that Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor really brought their all to this. And they really wanted to make sure they captured every essence of Star Wars that we've been missing these past couple years. Like I said, I haven't seen The Mandalorian or any of those other spinoff shows. So maybe those have captured the essence of Star Wars too. But as far as I'm concerned, this is the one that did it for me. Other than the obvious phenomenal performances by Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor in this series, another standout for me, or two standout characters for me, was Reva and Leia. The girl that played Reva, I thought, first of all, the girl that played Reva, the first like 3 episodes, or until we found out like who she actually was, that she was a youngling, she absolutely kills it as a villain. Like, for her to be that menacing and just that heartless is absolutely incredible. And for us to see the way she's acting in the beginning, and it's like, all right, that's an Inquisitor. Like, she's supposed to be this menacing. She's supposed to be this rageful. She's supposed to essentially be this, you know, evil. But for us to find out, like, she was a youngling and all that, you know, energy birthed from Anakin coming in and killing all her friends, and that's what made her the way she is today, and she's just straight rage and vengeance. That was an incredible, you know, way to see that. It was good that they actually brought a youngling back from those days, because it's like Anakin just killed a bunch of kids, and it's kind of like we get to see the payoff of that, or essentially, you know, what actually like happened from that event, like what Anakin actually created from killing all those kids back then. It's like Reva's character really brought a lot to this show, and I actually really enjoyed her a whole ton. There was some controversy about her character or something like that. I believe it had to do with her color. I'm not even gonna address that ignorance. That's just dumb. She was a phenomenal villain, or she was a phenomenal antagonist slash protagonist. She really only did like a heroic thing in the finale when she brought Luke back. Other than that, she was evil up until the point. And, well, I'll say this. The battle between her and Vader, I feel like that's when she kind of should have realized that she's just not cut out for this. Because let me explain something to you. If your opponent doesn't even have to draw their lightsaber to fight you, I feel like something in your mind should tell you, like, I should probably go run the other way, or just not do this. You would think that that's what would go through her head, but unfortunately it didn't. But she was a phenomenal character nonetheless. Now, Princess Leia, I thought the young girl that played her, I thought she did a phenomenal job. She really captured all the essence of Princess Leia. She really, the fearlessness, the heroicness, the princessness, just the grand elegance of everything that Princess Leia is. She captured it very well. She played this role very well. I find it very amusing how they can find so many characters to encapsulate all these other, characters we've had from the past. And it's like, this girl is so young, and for her to really do what she did for Leia, like really give Leia justice. Well, not even justice per se. She just did the character very well. She just did awesome things with this character. I was just shocked. I was shocked. I was amazed. I was floored. Not only by this little girl's performance, but by, just all the cast members in this show. The Grand Inquisitor that they had, O'Shea Jackson Jr., I forgot the character's name he played, Kumail Nanjiani. They just really brought out a lot of stakes for this show, and I really appreciate it because they made me love Star Wars again. This show brought my love back for Star Wars, and I really missed it. I think I should really give The Mandalorian a Bad Batch, or I know there's another show I'm missing, but I think I should give those shows a chance. And if you think so too, please let me know in the comments. So overall, guys, look, this is a callback to how Star Wars should feel and how Star Wars should be. I loved everything about this series, and honestly, including the people on Twitter who were going crazy like when episode 4 came out and they were like, Disney has these movie-size ideas and they can't really follow through on them. This series shows you should have patience and wait till the last episode, because they absolutely did it correct. Like, I have no single complaint about this series at all. Just the fact that I want more. Just the fact that it left me wanting more, and that's what it should do. That's what a series should do. I loved every part of this show. I loved everything about Ewan McGregor's performance. I thought that he did a phenomenal job. Honestly, delivered one of the best performances in his career. He really gave Obi Wan his all. Hayden Christensen really came back with a vengeance, tried to redeem himself from what he did in the prequel series. And like I said, it's really just me judging him off that. There are people that I know that actually enjoyed that performance. I don't enjoy it at all. And honestly, his performance in that movie is what makes Revenge of the Sith kind of like the 3rd or 4th favorite Star Wars movie on my list. It's really just him. But I really don't have anything bad to say about him in this one, because he absolutely redeemed himself. I gotta say, I was even very happy to see that even though he had the Vader mask on, they still gave Hayden Christensen his screen time, or they gave him time to be on screen as himself. And even in the finale, when him and Obi-Wan are going at it and Obi-Wan slices his mask, I love the fact that I got to see that vengeful, hateful eye. Like, that's the one thing that Hayden Christensen did always have, is that hateful look on his face when he was just pissed. Like, he was just pissed at the world. And he did a very good job at that. And that's what made me feel like he could have been a better villain in those prequel series, just when he wasn't whining all the time or asking to have sex with Padme or forcing her to. It's just a lot. He did a lot in those prequel series, but all has been forgiven because you have done absolutely phenomenal work in this one, Hayden Christensen. Hats off to you. The entire cast is phenomenal. It's great action, great just story, great heart in this show. It captures everything you want Star Wars to be and so much more, guys, and I really recommend you check this series out as soon as possible if you're a Star Wars fan. If not, you're probably not going to understand like the essence of what all this is, but it's, in my opinion, it's worth it for anybody to check out. So guys, that's my review of Obi Wan Kenobi. Look, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Are you hoping that they make a season 2? Are you hoping that they do more of Obi Wan? Because I really hope this guy plays his character for as long as possible, especially since they're bringing back a lot of old time characters in these things we call legacy sequels. Just let him, honestly, give him a movie. If we're gonna bring Obi Wan back, I really would want to see a movie, but we're gonna see what happens. But other than that, guys, look, I'm Terrell Henderson. This is your guy in the chair. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Let's get a discussion going, man. Whatever you guys want to see me make videos on, rankings, just new stuff. I'm trying to create ideas. I'm trying to make this channel go big, man. So let's do this together. Thank you guys so much for watching. More content coming to you soon.